Why do we love George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire so much? Sure, it has dragons, epic battles, and an intricate world, but what really keeps us turning the pages are the characters. And it's not because they're perfect heroes or villains. It's because they're messy, complicated, and oh so human. In today's video, we'll dive into what makes George R.R. Martin's characters stand out and why they're the real magic of Westeros. The rise of the morally gray character. Let's talk about morally gray characters. In most fantasy stories, it's easy to tell who the heroes and villains are. Take The Lord of the Rings, for example. Frodo, Aragorn, they're noble, courageous, and always do the right thing. But in George R.R. Martin's world, it's not that simple. Let's look at Jaime Lannister. He starts off as a villain, a man who pushes a child out of a window to protect his secrets. But as the story progresses, we see a completely different side of him. He's a man struggling with his honor, love, and the weight of his past actions. He's not just the Kingslayer, he's Jaime, and we end up empathizing with him. Even Jon Snow, who seems like the quintessential hero, isn't purely good. He wrestles with impossible choices, questioning loyalty to his family, his vows, and even himself. What makes him interesting is that he's not always sure what the right thing to do is, and that makes him real. Now, why do readers connect so deeply with these morally complex characters? It's because they're relatable. We see our own struggles and flaws in them. Jaime Lannister isn't perfect, neither is Tyrion, or even Daenerys. They're all navigating a world where right and wrong are not black and white, just like us. Plus, these characters keep us on our toes. Unlike other fantasy, where you can often predict what the hero will do next, in Martin's world, nothing is certain. Will Tyrion outwit his enemies and save the day, or will he turn his wit against those closest to him? And then there's someone like Stannis Baratheon. He starts off as a just ruler, but slowly descends into darkness, willing to sacrifice even his own daughter in the name of victory. Are his actions justified, or is he losing his humanity? This moral ambiguity forces us to think, what would we do in their place? And that's why these characters stick with us long after we've turned the last page. Now, let's dive into some unique examples from the books that the show didn't fully explore. One of the best examples of this is Lady Stoneheart Catelyn Stark's resurrection. In the books, Catelyn comes back from the dead, but she's not the same. She's driven purely by revenge, hunting down those who wronged her family. It raises the question, is she still justified in her actions, or has she become something darker? This adds a whole new layer of complexity to her character. Then there's Victarion Greyjoy, who the show completely left out. In the books, he's a brutal, conflicted warrior struggling between duty, jealousy, and his quest for divine favor. His story adds even more depth to the political and religious struggles within Westeros. And let's not forget about Sansa Stark. While the show glossed over her growth, in the books, Sansa evolves into a politically savvy player. Her rise from a naive girl to a formidable woman is one of the most compelling character arcs. She's learned how to survive in a world of lies and betrayal without losing her sense of self. For me, what sets George R.R. Martin apart is that he doesn't just give us heroes and villains. He gives us real people, flawed and struggling, just like us. Characters like Jaime and Tyrion challenge our notions of morality. And I think that's what makes them so memorable. Every time I pick up one of Martin's books, I'm reminded that the most interesting conflicts aren't just fought on battlefields, but within the characters themselves. And honestly, that's why I keep coming back to the world of Westeros. There's always something new to discover about these characters, and every time I do, I find myself more intrigued. So what do you think? Who's your favorite morally gray character in A Song of Ice and Fire? Is it Jaime's redemption arc, or maybe someone more unexpected, like the Hound? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're ready to explore more about the rich, complicated world of George R.R. Martin's books, hit that subscribe button and join me for more deep dives into Westeros. Thanks for watching. Follow for more.